We're good to go. I'll greet you all once more. Good evening for where I am. Morning, good afternoon for wherever you may be joining from. I'm really excited that you could take the time to join me on this inaugural discussion that we'll be having, especially considering that it was quite short notice. So I'm really humbled, and I really hope that you derive the value you seek. That said, and out of the way, I think we can go ahead and dive in. Okay, so I'll reintroduce myself for those that know me or don't know of me or just hear of me. My name is Edwin Moise. I'm really excited, and I'll be your host for today. Quick introduction about myself is I am a qualified economist. I have a bachelor's degree in quantitative economics, and I have decent work experience. I've worked as a finance consultant for about 5 years here in Uganda, and now I work as a data scientist and a finance controller with a Microsoft Gold partner, regional Microsoft Gold partner. The reason I say that is you will find as we go on, we share quite a lot in common. So whereas I'll be speaking about working online and how to earn money online, I do have the experience and still fully work locally and full-time. So for those that are considering juggling the two and worried about making a distinct change from, or a big change from one thing to another, you can take comfort in knowing that you can juggle the two and you can learn the ropes for both of them. So that said, on the freelance aspect, I've worked online since 2016. And in that capacity, I've done a lot of different jobs. I have worked as an accountant. I have been an executive assistant. I have worked as a business analyst. I've worked as a creative writer or a content creator, and I've also worked as a finance consultant. So there are a series of things I've done, and not in any particular order, but this just goes to show that you can apply your skill set, your trained skill set, but then you also have the ability to learn a lot of other things as well. So with me, with the introduction done, we are going to move to the next piece. And to avoid distracting you, if it's all right with you, I am going to turn off my video so that I can allow everybody else to focus on what we'll be discussing as I share my screen. I do remind everyone that has joined, please click on the link in the chat to take a 1-minute survey, because it will really improve our delivery and the direction in which we carry this conversation. Thank you, and I really thank you once again for taking part. Without further ado, let's move to the next item. So everybody has had a thing or two about working online. Sometimes it's a hoax. We've had some people really banned from trying out these things. Sometimes it's just clickbait. So the question really is, how do you know that you're actually cut out for working online? And with that aspect, do you think you have what it takes to really be working online? So this next item is really how you what informs your decision on making that jump or trying that out. And I have a couple of people, long-term colleagues of mine, some even very special to me, who will be taking on some of these questions, and I will be moderating. The next person that I will be inviting to actually answer this question, I have a couple of questions for him, is a long-term friend of mine, and our paths crossed when I had just joined working on one of the platforms. So just to give you some perspective, he's called Kibet Elikana, all the way from Nairobi, and he's one of the big gurus as far as working online. And I met him a couple of years back, and as you can tell, he will be very well versed with what he's talking about, considering he's also in the over 100,000 USD earners bracket. and you can see he has worked a lot of hours. I don't know whether Mr. Kibet, you do any other work, but that's a lot of time. So I am going to unmute you, and then you can take this away, introduce yourself briefly, and then I have a couple of questions for you before we move on. Welcome, Kibet.
Thank you very much, Edwin. Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for having me. I'm humbled, and I'd love to answer as much as possible and contribute to your to this seminar. Okay, so online work has sustained me. Basically, it has helped me. I've worked in this space for over 10 years. I started with copywriting, and over time, the type of work evolved depending on the client's demands, and I would be happy to answer all the questions, Edwin.
Okay, so Kibet, the first question is really, this is to paint perspective for the people joining us today. Considerations whether online work is really for you. Tell us, for example, do you have to, could it be that you have no job? What led you to joining? Did you have no job? Is it you wanted to earn more money? Were you tired of an 8-to-5 workplace? Or were you homebound and for whatever reason you were not able to go to work? Or did you just want to learn more? And just give us a bit of your academic background as well, so that we get a feel of what guided your decision at the time.
All right. Okay. So I worked from 2016 on to now. Immediately after university, after attaining my degree in actuarial science, I went to start looking for work. And as you know, the African situation is kind of tricky when you want to go, and we have something here in Kenya called tamaking, where you go submit your application later in every office you can, which is as even remotely relevant to what you learned in school. So the thing that pushed me to go and work online was mostly the ease of setting up online accounts and the ease of connecting to customers online, and the smooth way. You know, when you work online, when you look for opportunities online, you not only access the market, the global market, you also get to do it from your home. So what brought me there initially was, first, the high unemployment rate in Kenya, which most youth, you have a lot of graduates entering the job market, and there are very few jobs available, and you all have to go and compete for these jobs. So going online was just a no-brainer for me, because it was like, you know, you don't have to go to travel to all these offices in town and compete with all these other candidates, of which most of them are usually really qualified. So the situation here in Africa is that there are a lot of youth who are graduating and entering the job market, and they are very, very skilled. And these youth are not actually restricted to just offline jobs, if we can call them, or working from the office. If you can access a working computer and internet connection, I think you have all it takes to go online. So I guess that is it.
Yeah, thank you, Kibet. And I see we will dive into what platform this is, but I see here you are associated with, this is what in many cases would be an agency. I would like to know, you started out working solo. How many other people are now working with you or under your supervision in form of a virtual company now that applies for work as an entity in itself?
Yeah, so we have well, okay, online. Okay, let me go. Well, let me start with the platform, because this platform before you, which you see, is called Upwork, and it allows you to actually expand. When you have a lot of people who have this very specialized skill set, for example, creative writing or academic writing, these are easily trainable skills. So I worked by myself for, I think, 2 or 3 years. But in 2017, we launched an agency where we started working with other Upwork freelancers from Kenya. And we were looking for a lot of, we were looking for a lot of work for a lot of people. And that trains you a lot of about management, and it allows you to kind of, manage this workflow with this pool of freelancers. So we started our unique copywriting agency back in 2017, but we actually started working on it during the COVID pandemic. Pardon my. So what I can say is that we have grown. We've grown from just 10 people in 2020 to around 30 people in 2022. And we aim to look for hourly contracts, which are continuous, which come like you get paid every single week or every single month. And the payment in this way can be predictable, and you can actually have salaries for your team.
And all these people actually work remotely, or now do you have an office you go to? Is this the only thing you do fully? Because it's a business in its own right, isn't it? So all these people are Kenyans working remotely for the work that comes in through the agency?
Yes, these are Kenyans, and we have a Ghanaian and a couple of Nigerians. They all work remotely. We don't have a physical office. We tried setting that up, but we found that it was more suited for another model of work, academic writing. There is this whole area of soft skills which you can use to help somebody studying. So that the office work was more suited to that kind of writing. But we found with creative writing and nonfiction copywriting, it was more what do we say? It was more effective, and it made more sense to just have everything online. And as for if I have something else outside of online, yes, it's really possible, because with online you can optimize your time. You can work your own hours as long as you put in the hours. So with time, that, well, there is this client who needs my input here at this time, and after a while you just have a system in place which can allow you to have a life outside online per se. So yeah, there are other businesses. I do farming, and I can work remotely from the farm and access my pool of freelancers at any time and access my clients at any time. So that's the sweet deal about it.
Well, thank you. Many thanks for sharing that. Now, the next person I'm going to invite, or our next item, for those that are just joining us, welcome. The question now is 5 facts. We are talking to these people that have done this for a while. What are 5 things that really surprised you about working online. And the next person is actually, I have a somewhat unique relationship with them. I'm going to introduce her. She may not need a lot of introduction because she's also a very, very big player on the continent and in the region as well. So I'm going to invite a very beautiful lady called Fiona. And as you can see, for our inaugural discussion, we are only bringing the big players. So she's equally in the 100,000 USD bracket. And she possesses a unique skill set, which I'll later walk you guys through briefly. But let me just let her on and grant her rights. Yes, Fiona, welcome. Are you able to, do you have a voice yet?
Okay, yes, I do.
Ah, there she is. So welcome. Thank you for taking time off your very busy schedule to join us. We see some very interesting numbers here. And for this perspective, you seem to have a lot of work experience, over 23,500 hours worked online. Just give us a quick, brief introduction about yourself, and then I'll shoot some questions your way to benefit our listeners and viewers. Take it away.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Yeah, my name is Fiona, and I've been doing online work for about 5 years now. I major in property management and short-term vacation rental management, and some virtual assistance work.
Okay. Considering, how long have you been working online or on Upwork, for example?
About 5 years now. Yeah.
Wow, 5 years. Interesting. So I have some questions that many people have asked me, and I thought I would run them by you. So if you could you just tell us 5 things that come to mind of 5 surprising things, whether they were positive, shocking, or negative, that you ran into working online?
So working online is for me, it has been majorly positive. It has impacted it. Online work majorly impacts like your social life, and also you get to learn a lot of things. Sorry.
How does it impact your social life? In what way?
Social life in that you meet so many people from all over the world, and which is very positive in online work, because a lot of the people I've met on the way are the ones who actually, help you get more work rather than you keeping on like applying and applying. Right now, as I am, I no longer apply for work, but I do get a lot of job offers just because of the people I've met on the way earlier on as I was working. So, yeah.
Okay. And what having graduated top of your class in a reputable university, many would think you would be doing a lecturing job or something. But what did you find as far as difference in work ethic between the people here in Africa or in Uganda in particular versus what the world is like on the cyberspace, and as far as skills as well is concerned?
Yeah, right. So basically, I graduated with a first class in real estate management, but when I was introduced to online work, I found that I pretty much knew nothing about property management, which I really was passionate about doing. So I found that I knew very little. There's a lot that goes into property management. There's so many tools to use, and I never learned that in school. I also, with work ethic, our work ethic here seems to be like on the lower end. With online work, your work ethic has to be like at 110%. You have to be consistent. You have to be 110% reliable. You have to deliver on time and very quickly. Otherwise, you will not have a job. Yeah.
And speaking of a job, do you work full-time online? If so, does it pay the bills? Can one consistently work online if they so choose to go that direction? Or is it better to always have one foot in the other pot, like Kibet and myself do sometimes? Have some work locally and then work full-time online?
Me, myself, I work 100% online. I chose to go that route because I just prefer to have that freedom. And with it could be a worry that what if I lose all the jobs I have, or what if like I just wake up in the morning and I just do not have a job online, like what do? I need to have a backup. But with me, what I've realized is once you create like a presence online and you get your ratings high up there and you work for your ratings, it's very hard for you to run out of a job. I've been working online full time for the last, say 3 years, and I've never run out of a job. Even at the times where I was not even into it, like I was willing to go off and say like needed space or time, and I didn't want to work anymore, still jobs were coming in. So once you build your profile and you have those ratings, it's very, very difficult for you to run out of a job.
Yeah, but some would say it's worth it. How is the pay like? Paint for us a picture between I have a decent job, I'm a graduate in Africa, versus working online. Does the mathematics add up, or is it more or less the same thing in that it's just a decision of preference?
Yeah, once again, it's about building your profile. Of course, if you're starting out, even when you're starting out, like if you get one job online, say on Upwork, it will be so much worth it, in my view, much worth it more than like going daily to office to work. Because here in Uganda, like how much do you get paid for like a decent job? Like what? 2 million, 1 million? Like what's the average?
Let's average according to statistics, say about $350 or $400. That's a starter pack for a graduate, should put you in the region of about 1.5 take home, obviously. So yeah.
Okay. So now with say Upwork, my first job I got, I was being paid 400,000 Ugandan shillings. What's that in dollars?
A little over $100.
$100, yeah, per week. And that was like my starting, like when I was just really starting out. I didn't have much experience. I had very little to offer. And that was my first pay for over $100, a little bit over $100 a week. So if you're getting a little bit over $100 a week.
How much time of it was it taking? Was it taking up all your time like a day job?
No, not at all.
Or what percentage of your time would it take up?
So for example, I would dedicate like 10 hours a week. 10 hours a week. That means you dedicate like 2 hours a day out of your day to do such work. So it was less tasking up to now. Like, so you can afford to actually do like 3 to 4 jobs, even 5. Like for me, I've ever done like 7 contracts at one time. It was very tasking, but I mean, like the pay, sometimes you feel like the pay is really worth it. You can with those many contracts, you can even get like $5,000 a month, which is like what?
A little under 20 million.
Yeah. 20 million, yes, a month, yes. Wow. So the more contracts you build, the better. If you can take on 3, if you can take on 2, if you can only do 1, which is 10 hours a week, it can even get you like more than the average pay here, at least in Uganda.
Yeah, and looking at some of your work in progress, I'm really intrigued because most times you would think online work is a gig. So you go in, you do it for a month, you do it for a week, you do it for a short period of time, and you cannot really project earnings off of it. But looking at some of your work in progress, you've worked with some people since 2018, you've even worked with some since 2017. That's a lot of years, over 5 years. And do you mean to say these people have consistently worked with you month in, month out? And in many cases, you know, that lasts longer than some of the jobs I've had locally, you know? So paint a picture on that. Is it a gig, or is it actually having potential to keep you full-time, long-term?
A lot of the work I do is long-term. I don't like doing short-term work. So you even have that preference. Like with online work, you even have that preference. You can prefer to do short-term gigs. You say, I just only want a job for like 1 month, and I'm out of here and I want to change. Or you can say, I only want to deal with long-term. I want consistency, and that's what I want. So for me, I opted to do like long time work, and that's what works for me. So those people, it's not a gig, it's not a lie. I've been with them for those many years. What you have to do is, as I said before, if you have consistency, if you're reliable, if you're delivering, there's no reason why someone can really get rid of you when you're delivering for them.
Okay, that all sounds rosy, but how easy is it to get this work? Like, I say you're a property manager. Can I start out tomorrow and dive in? Because from the looks of things, I see there's a lot of work out there. This is one of the platforms I'll discuss later, which is Upwork. There's a lot of work out here. How easy is it for me to just dive in, sign up, and start making those millions?
Signing in and creating a profile is not the hard part. The hard part is actually getting the job. I will not say that it is very easy getting your first job. It can take months. Sorry, did you say something?
Why is that? There's so much out here. Why would I struggle?
Yeah, simply because people, usually clients want people with experience. It's very hard. It's very hard to find a client who will say, I want a property manager who has no experience or who has never done this before. A lot of people want experience. So to land that first job that where someone does not mind about you being new to the platform, or you being where they don't mind that you do not have experience, it's going to be hard. But you don't give up. I did not get my first job. I got my first job like almost a year after me signing up. So it takes a while. It does take a while, but it's you know what you have to lose. What you have to lose if you keep applying and applying and applying. One time that one job comes, and once that one job comes and you do a great job on it and you get that flourishing review, trust me, it's just going to be going up and up from there on.
I see so many applications, like one job, 20 to 50 people, 20 to 50 people applying, 20 to 50 people. What's the competition like at this stage?
Competition is tight. I would say that some countries just rely on online, majorly on online work, like the Philippines, and because they rely on online work majorly, they have very low rates, which would not make sense to a Ugandan. Like they would have like someone can come and bid for a job and they have like their rate is like charge like $3 an hour, and for us here in Uganda, because we have different costs of living, that wouldn't make sense to someone. You get what I mean? Like if someone has $3 an hour and they are offering like 5 hours a week, that is That is like the bare minimum. That is very little money. So for us, it wouldn't make sense. So a Ugandan would say maybe, they would come in at a minimum of $5 an hour. And of course, clients will always look, if they are not looking for experience, then they would look at and they will look at who's offering the lowest rate, and so the competition is tight with such countries, India, people from India and the Philippines, like those Asian countries. A lot of them, people do offer low rates, and yet they do have the experience too. So yeah, the competition is tight, but also we have an advantage, at least in my field, property management. I know we have an advantage because our English is a bit is preferred. We have good spoken and written English, so that's a plus. That's usually puts you in a good position to bid for work.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for being so kind to share. I'll move to our third item, really, which was finding out how does someone get paid? And this is a big question for everybody. And that is simply because in many cases, you will find that you can do work, but there are so many nitty-gritties that go between you being paid, you not being cheated, to actually transferring the money in your country. And that being said, of course, if you're in Uganda and a number of other African countries, you will realize that, for example, we are not well synchronized or integrated with one of the leading payment gateways, which is PayPal. With PayPal, in many countries, you can actually sign up and pay, but you cannot receive money on your PayPal when you're in Uganda, when you're in Nigeria, when you're in a host of different countries in Africa, for whatever reason. So it has been a big problem because a lot of the online work, the preferred way of earning is through PayPal. We will be discussing how to actually get paid. And I want to share a link to our YouTube channel, which I request and encourage you all to actually subscribe to. We will be going through very detailed methods of signing up for the PayPal alternative, which is Payoneer. Payoneer is another platform, an alternative platform that works really great for those in Africa and is actually being adopted by so many of the big freelance platforms. So I'm sharing a link to our YouTube channel. Please ensure that you subscribe so that you have the ability now to walk through and sign up for Payoneer. I believe that is even more important than a lot of other things, because before you want to invest your time into whether something works or whether it doesn't, I think it's super important that you've confirmed and you work out how you can get paid. You don't want to put in so much effort only to find out you can't get paid. And I say this from experience because I did that. I worked for like almost 6 months, made my first $500, and I failed to get paid until Payoneer actually came to the rescue. So I'm sharing a link to our new YouTube channel. Please click on that. The video is not out yet. It will come out after we put up this video as well. But please be sure to subscribe, because there will be a lot of content that will be coming your way in that aspect. So that being said, I'll go to my profile and I'll quickly discuss what does it take to earn that paycheck. It's important because we've walked through the opportunities. We know the opportunities are there. We know you can get paid. We will later on discuss the various ways or avenues or various opportunities to work online and that kind of thing. So let's find out, what does it actually take to earn money? And just picking up from where I've just left off, first you must make sure that you get paid, right? And we have a video tutorial walking you through how you can link your Payoneer account to your bank account. So you can directly start earning this money, which comes in dollars, but you can convert or still withdraw it in dollars. The second item is consistency. Consistency, consistency, consistency. It's extremely important that you do not give up on the first day. Many were asking me, why come out now? Why tell everybody about this goose that lays golden eggs now? In truth, I'm not just telling people about this now, but I've shared a lot with colleagues, friends, acquaintances, and they jump on after 1 month, after 3 weeks, they give up because maybe it was so glamorous, they didn't actually think it was going to be hard work. I kid you not, if you're not ready to put commitment and consistency into it, it will still not yield any fruits. Better searching for your job here or keeping your job here. That said, you need to stand out. You need to stand out. And I think this is one of the things that informed me to actually start this series. It's very, very different, especially in Africa, how we apply for jobs versus how you apply and compete for jobs with the entire world. You must have the ability to stand out at the first glance. That will include start from how you do your CV. Is it the typical hard copy thing that you scan and put up there, or must you be able to disseminate a lot of information in a very short period of time? That's one thing. The other is, of course, there are a bunch of different tricks or packs on how you can ensure that when you apply and to ensure that you actually get first movers advantage. For example, if I look at some of this work out here, I'll go in my preferred, say, accounting and bookkeeping arena. You'll see a couple of jobs out there. If without the right guidance, I see there are 15 to 20 people here that have already applied. What are the odds that when I apply now, this person is going to go through all these people and end up with me, right? That's one thing. The other is figuring out how much this person is actually willing to pay or has paid before. That history is very important. And also picking out your work very carefully. Do you have a competitive edge? For example, I have a lot of experience in QuickBooks and Xero. If I have not used any of this and I've used say Tally or any other thing, it's useless for me to actually go on and apply for this job. So there are lots of things in there that I feel maybe I didn't really share with so many of my colleagues, and because of that, they kept hitting a brick wall. My second last item is you have to hone your soft skills. In a lot of work here, you will find that because there are so many people applying, it is very, very common for people that post these jobs to try and clean through the horde of people applying. And they do this many times by quizzing you about your soft skills. What platforms do you know? If you don't take time, for example, I've done so many jobs that are really focused on accounting, but they will give you a test, all of you, and they say, do a typing speed test. And if you have a typing speed below 50, you are automatically eliminated. So my quiz for you, take time, go online and try out and just type in typing speed test. You will be surprised at the speeds you garner versus what's acceptable out there. So soft skills like typing, you need to acquaint yourself with a lot of task management tools. You need to do a lot of self-teaching as far as marketing, content creation, SEO, and all that kind of stuff. So the soft skills are extremely important. But my last one is actually mastering your core skills. I have to say to you, there is work out there, and we're going to look at a lot of online work that doesn't require too much skill, doesn't require too much training. But at the end of the day, it's the work that requires skill, a core skill, that ends up paying you more and long term. So you can start out easy with easy to earn work, but that's more competitive. My advice to you, and as we'll go through this series, you need to identify what your core differentiator is as far as these skills are concerned. So moving on, and we'll have a very brief Q&A because we actually prefer to have you post all your questions on our YouTube. YouTube is our preferred approach because we get to show you and not just speak through. So people that won't get time to a chance to ask questions, you can go on our YouTube channel and then pick out any video. We will be addressing all questions and content will be going out there. So as you can see, it's extremely important, absolutely important, that you do not just dive in, that you get guided. We made those errors. For 7 years, we've shared with so many colleagues and somehow they hit a brick wall because they go in, expect they'll wing it, and that doesn't happen. So the whole series or mission for this channel and for this series, you can be part of the hand-holding sessions. Every week, we will be holding your hand to a big milestone. For this week, as you will see on the video we'll upload tomorrow, we'll be talking about how to sign up for Pioneer. That's how you get paid. First, let's secure how you get paid. So be sure to look out for that. And for those that have not yet taken our quick survey, please take it and share with us your information. We will not spam your email with lots of information, too much useless information. We will just be reminding you or sharing links or reminders to the new videos. Because if you miss 1 week, if you try to wing it, you're welcome. We're not custodians to this information. You can wing it, but with this information, you can always come back to us. You can always come back and follow through, and you can achieve what you hope to achieve way faster. Now, I'm moving on to the key gist of this meeting. Let me share with you something about the different avenues that exist on Upwork. Remember, the key thing is proven online working or earning streams. And it's interesting because we've talked about Upwork. I'll end with that, but I'll start with something that doesn't require too much skill. This is called Amazon TAC, in brackets HITS. HITS stands for Human Intelligence Tasks. These are tasks that anybody can do, right? Not too much skill required. For example, someone can say to you, confirm that the website provided is correct. That's all. They'll provide you a link and you click on it and you say, yes, if this website leads to Ed Talks and that's the link, then it's correct. If it's not, you say it's not. But as you can tell, the pay is quite small, only 0.05. So this is stuff for people who have a lot of time. The reason we have it down here as proven, of course, some actually pay more. For example, address identification, you see there's so many human intelligence tasks here that people post that just require input and attention to detail. No required skill, really. You can draw a polygon around the right front door of the requested cars. You've seen those prove you're not a robot verifications. This is the side of the coin that actually informs or trains those computers for machine learning or for artificial intelligence. So this not too much skill required, but if you have time, you can actually do a lot of it. The reason I have it under proven is because when I was starting out, I did this. The difference here was I got a couple of people and a couple of graduates or senior six leavers who wanted data entry jobs. So I would have them working round the clock on this. It's not much money, but if you compare, it's not too bad. Considering if someone earns, for example, $300 in Uganda or 1 million, they're earning about $1.3 per hour. And it's a reputable job here. So imagine most people earning $1 million are earning $1.3 per hour. If you put it in that perspective, doing a $2 task that will take you 30 seconds or 1 minute is not bad at all. If you do 50 of these, you can actually you can do very well for yourself. So that's one example of proven. These are Amazon hits. We will have a video on these coming out on how you can do those, but that's a place to start. If you have some skills or willing to invest some time and learn something, I would rather you start out with Upwork because it definitely earns more. So we'll move to Upwork now. This is a platform, one of the biggest freelance platforms. There are a couple of those out there. There is Fiverr, there is People Per Hour. There are so many of these platforms that you'll find. Upwork is really proven. It's a leading one. It was a merger between Elance and Odesk, I believe, and I joined even before they merged. So they have so much work because they're a big player, and because of their merger, you will find so much available work and so many categories. These are just part of the categories that I like looking at. If you're interested in project management, for example, if you go there at any one time, I can guarantee there are thousands and thousands of jobs and non-specialists. These are all project management jobs, and you can filter out on what you want to go for, the history you want, long-term fixed contracts, you want to be paid per hour, you want to be paid per project. There are so many options out there. My disclaimer here is that you really need to be guided. And I say this from 7 years of experience sharing this information, and people coming back and saying, this thing did not work out. So please endeavor to take part in our training sessions or in our weekly meetings, so that we can go step by step. We can hold each other's hands. We have a lot of resources here. Kibet and Fiona are just a few of the contacts that I've come to know. Let's hold each other's hands. And one would wonder and say, why do this? To what end? You could be better off selling off this course and stuff like that. What you probably did not notice about Fiona and Kibet's contracts or profiles is they have both actually created agencies, right? They're associated to agencies, and that's critical, because as you grow bigger, there is a higher demand for work. But in our experience, because I also have an agency, in our experience, you bring people on board and they do not make the cut. So it's very bad if we are ending up hiring Filipinos, we are ending up hiring Indians, because those guys are thriving. Nothing against my Indian friends, nothing against my friends from the Philippines, but it's way cheaper if we can work locally and then carve out our own niche. So that is the plan. Put word out there, guide people to start earning. And once we become a collective voice, trust me, we will be a force to reckon with. So that is the why. That said, that is Upwork for you, but there are perks you gain from training on Upwork. I'll say to you, I've learned how to do e-commerce, manage e-commerce stores. I've learned about search engine optimization. I've learned about organic and inorganic marketing. I've been exposed to so much by just working online. And one of those key areas that Fiona also hinted on is property management. You know, Fiona probably did not tell you, but she works in Uganda, but manages over 100 properties all over the world, in the UK, in the US, in Israel. While here, when people call, she receives the call seated here in Uganda, and she gives them directions to head station. She manages all these properties while living in Uganda. And that just makes so much sense, as opposed to looking for a visa to go abroad, because when you go abroad, you will significantly be earning more, but so is the cost of living. So as an economist, I have to say to you, that doesn't make too much sense. You would rather stay in Uganda and earn a lot more at a low cost of living, and you're also more competitive because you can appear seemingly affordable. I'll say to you, for example, I typically charge $18 an hour, which for my friends in the US and the UK know that is very, very low pay, considering the standards of living. But because I'm living in Uganda, if you do $18 an hour in 10 hours, which is a typical day, that's $180,000. That's $180. That's quite a lot of money. If you extrapolate that to a month, you're simply unmatched in this area, you know? So it's important that rather than striving to get a visa to go abroad, please consider this. It's way cheaper, easier to learn. There will be a lot of support to guide you through that process. Our time is running out. I'll move to our third proven approach. And I was talking about the interlinkage between being able to learn the things you learn on Upwork and how they relate with what you do in Uganda. So having learned a lot of property management off of Upwork, I said, why can't I try this as well? I used to manage Airbnb properties and stuff. So I decided to manage my own property, set up my own properties in Uganda. I did not buy them. We'll have a full tutorial about how you can set up Airbnb and how you can manage it. And the skills you learn from Upwork make you stand out even against the people that are already doing it locally. Because I'll say to you, for that time, I took a pause because of COVID, but in a very, very short time, I was able to become super host. Super host is a special kind of status reserved only for the very best hosts. You see, so it started out with $2,000, went to 9,000 and the likes. But what's even more important is the ripple effect is not felt here, because for both Upwork and even Airbnb and all these kinds of things, there's a lot of repeat business that does not necessarily go through the platform anymore. And that's where the real magic is, because you're not giving off a commission, all this money because of the connections you're making with so many people you're meeting. All this money starts to come through to you without even so much support from these platforms. So that said, thank you very much for taking part. We will, in all fairness, allow for a few questions here and there. I think it's best we type them in the chat window so that everyone is not trying to speak at the same time. I'll take on about just 5 questions, and we'll call it a day. The rest can please go to our channel and ask any other questions there. I recommend that you look out and share your email address. You look out for the video we'll be sharing about signing up for Pioneer. That's where it all starts. We must confirm that you can get paid. Look out for that video, and I'll be also sharing what we'll be discussing in the following week. You can even suggest, but we sort of have a guided script from experience on what we'll be sharing. Thank you very much. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel in case you don't get the opportunity to ask your questions. I'll open up the floor. Someone is asking for the YouTube channel. Nothing on it because it's an inaugural video, but please just make sure that when you go there, you hit subscribe. So I've shared that. I've shared the link. So make sure that you join us there. It's question time. Let's see. There's Musa here. Given the dream of growing a community in the region that is knowledgeable about this and actively does this work, what does it take to work for any of your agencies? Well, quite frankly, just have the right skill set. That seems like a very generic way to put it, but my colleagues will share with you from experience. It's not, because with working online, you're expected to deliver at the highest standard, especially if you, for example, on Upwork, if you have the top rated plus status and you have job success rate, any bad delivery affects your rankings in all this. So it's critical that you have the right team, the right skills, and the right experience. As far as skill set is concerned, for example, in the area of property management, you could be using Hostaway, you could be using funnel management, you could be, you need to know how to use Airbnb. A lot of this stuff, and fair enough, people do not know out of the box when they graduate. So what we are hoping to do is sort of a hybrid of small grower farmers that has been so successful in Africa. We want to hold your hand, start sharing these skills with you, so that when we look to hire you, we now know you have a place to start, because we've hired so many people and we've ended up firing them and hurting our profiles in the process. So Musa, I hope that answers your question. Someone is still asking for the YouTube channel. I'll just keep posting it so that, let me post to everyone. There's the YouTube channel again. Please hit subscribe. There's a short video on there. You can watch it, but just look out for this recording and also the one that we are going to release for volume 2, which will be about signing up for Pioneer. Please ensure that this week or by this time next week, you've successfully signed up for Pioneer. If you run into any issues, you comment on the comment section of that video and we will be on hand to help you. I see Mr. Richard has a question as well. His question is, which kind of opportunities are available for other professions, such as engineering? Good question. So there's a series of, I don't know what what area you're looking at, but a quick search here, for example, if you go to engineering, there's mechanical, there's electrical, there is civil. So let's click on civil for just illustration's sake. Someone is requiring a civil engineer, and they're very, very particular. They list out the skills you must have. They list out how long they want you to work. They list out the mode of payment, how much they want to pay you, because there are 3 levels. There is entry level, there is intermediate, and there is expert. Of course, if you really self-assess and you're intermediate or beginner, there's no use competing for an expert job, because you will just not win it with the questions and tasks available. So, for example, this is one of the jobs, Richard. They say there's a whole role, work on exciting top-class projects in the infrastructure world and that kind of stuff. This one is in India, but it's, by the time it's being put out here, it's available for anybody to do. So that's the beauty. Companies are now migrating to just paying people for the work done, as opposed to the rudimentary way in Africa of paying people for a full-time job, because sadly, research shows people are only efficient for 30 or 40% of the time. So even for people that have companies here, it's recommended that you look out for work. And I'll tell you, Uganda is already catching up as well, because if I search Uganda, for example, let's see if this time around there's any work being posted specifically for people in Uganda or by people in Uganda. Look at that. Luganda transcription project. Transcribing is, of course, just typing out. This is work out there. And of course, now your typing skill will come in handy, because they require you to actually type fast. They're giving you $5 to $10. So your speed matters. If you do that typing speed test and you don't make the cut, obviously, such a job very likely will ask you to test your speed, right? There's other work like need a client in the Gulf. There's so much work that is specifically tied to Uganda. The last one is here. Hi, we are a courier shipping company based in the UK. We're looking for someone to help us with marketing services. Our main customers are based in Uganda, Kenya, Ethiopia. So now Ugandans will be having the edge because you're actually in Uganda. But if there are 20 to 50 applications from people in all sorts of countries, you should be having the edge here. You know, people are looking for Luganda speakers, native speakers. Some of these are areas to start with, and it's worth noting that I myself started out with creative writing, because you don't have the experience for people to trust you. Start with the low-level work, learn how to compete for it, and then get going once you ramp up the hours. I'll take 2 more questions, and then the rest, please just go and subscribe and share your questions on there. We'll address them each at a time. So let's see, gender balance. I see Miriam. Hi, Miriam. On which day of the week will the weekly meetings be held? Yeah, so suggestions are welcome, but for now, we will be doing same every Thursday of the week. The beauty of that, just because there was an inaugural meeting, we will be equally streaming live on YouTube. So if someone misses that, please be sure to subscribe to our channel, because you can go back and revisit. And a lot of things seem easy, or I'm pretty fast actually when I speak through this, but you have the added benefit of going back on that channel, asking questions about that particular video. So let's keep it constructive, and we'll do our very level best to guide you on that. Miriam, I hope that answers your question. I'll take one more lady, if I can find one. I see there are 3 more questions here. There's Eric. Sorry, Eric. Answering for the wonderful presentation. Can this be done on a smartphone? Did you say someone can do? Yep. So yes, to an extent, but that's for some of the lower requirement work, and it depends on the type of smartphone you have, because nowadays smartphones are like mini computers. I think apart from just the inconvenience of looking at a small screen, a lot of good smartphones are powerful enough to be like computers. You have Excel on there. A lot of the applications, like Fiona would actually attest, are mobile applications. So property management, Airbnb, for example, Hostel, all these are actually on the mobile phone. So a lot of your work could actually get done on the mobile phone. It's just the strenuous activity of looking at a small screen for a long period of time. And the Upwork tracker is not on that either. So I think that's about it. I see people are still asking about the channel. Please confirm you can actually log onto the channel. There's not much on there because it's the first time that we are posting that, but please go ahead and subscribe to that. There's someone, Hakim asks a very vital question. What is the threat to scam? How do we go about that? And it's very true. Even if you just go to YouTube, if you just Google 1,000 ways to make money, you'll see so many things. There's a lot of clickbait to start with. Scam is not just you losing your money, you're not being paid. Scam is opening yourself up to being hacked. Scam is opening yourself up to losing information, phishing accounts and all that kind of stuff. The best way to actually secure yourself is stick to reputable platforms. And that's why I said, I know of 1,000 other ways that people can make money, or that people claim they can make money. But because of the security threat and the risks available, I say to you, I would recommend for now, or for the start, or for 2023, because this is really gearing us into 2023, right? Stick to these ones. And of course, because we have our forum, people can suggest other areas and we'll look into them and we'll discuss them. We can even invite people to discuss about those, because now we want to start a community. So that said, I think it brings us to the very end of this discussion, the first of very many. Thank you very much.